What up? Dylan Conrad, Metabolic AF. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about manifesting your dream body for 2024. Go through some effortless strategies with you that you can implement immediately. Before I get into this, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, please please rate, please review. All you need to do if you're on Spotify is go to my page, the Metabolic AF page, and then you just click the rate button, and then just give me whatever stars you feel like I deserve, to be honest with you. But with this podcast and this YouTube, I really want to help as many people as I can, honestly. I want to help as many people as I can, and the one way you can actually grow your podcast and your YouTube channel is by people liking it and rating review. So this is basically by referral only. So it would really help me. I'd really appreciate it from you if you went ahead and put it on pause or just did it while you're listening to me. But anyways, all right. So I just had a conversation with someone, and I have a lot of these conversations with people, and she was like, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. And to kind of break that down, it was just there's two sides. I hear that all the time getting into when people enter the program and oh, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. And then they go in and they don't know what to do. Or they know what to do, what they've done in the past, right? Other programs, oh, I know how to, eat clean, or I know how to da-da-da. It's you kind of don't know what you don't know. If you don't know macros, if you don't know reverse dieting, if you don't know metabolic priming, if you don't know anything about mindful or intuitive eating, if you don't know how to linearly periodize your training program, there's a lot of, if you don't know how to do progressive overload, there's a lot of things that you might not know that you don't know, right? But anyways, besides the point, right? If I told someone, hey, you need to lose X amount of weight or you're going to die, they would do it. They would probably know about 60-70% of what they should be doing. So a lot of it's just knowing what to do and doing it, right? And so where is that? Why am I even talking about that, right? Why is that important? Because if you know what to do and you're not doing it, that has nothing to do with the training or nutrition. That's 100% mindset, right? If you got the best training and nutrition plan, if you don't do it, it's not going to do shit, right? So it's really just about doing it. And where that comes in is mindset, and where that comes in is habits, right? So why am I calling this manifesting your dream body in 2024? That sounds really woo-woo, and it manifesting, when I hear about that, okay, here, I'll tell you an old story. This is actually kind of funny. So I went on a date when I was in my early 20s with this girl, and she started talking about more out there new agey things, and she got into my astrology and, oh, you're a Taurus from the third moon up to 80 houses out and da-da-da, and going on and on. It was so over my head, and I was so uninterested and kind of turned off by it that you guessed it, that was our only date. But my parents are big hippies, and they lived in this place. We're from LA, Topanga Canyon. So they lived in Topanga Canyon, which is a very hippy dippy, a lot of retired hippies out there, and that have gone into the workforce and are doctors and lawyers and whatever. Anyways, so I was talking to this woman at one of my parents' parties, and she was appalled that she was oh, you're studying kinesiology, that's great, are you guys doing energy healing there? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course I'm not doing energy healing, Reiki healing at my college. That's science-based. And she was so offended. The look she gave me was as if I just murdered one of her family members. It was the nuttiest thing ever. And she thought I was just why are you going there? And wow, I can't believe they don't teach it. That's just it was sad for her. It was she found out Santa wasn't real or something. But anyways, so when I talk about manifesting, I have a background of kind of being not as open to these more new agey woo-woo things. But manifesting is really just kind of acting as if, right? You're okay, I want this body, right? I need to think about and put myself as though I already have it, right? And so how do we do that? And I always say to people, if you show me someone and you show me their physique or their bank account or their relationships, we can pretty much show them what their habits are going to look like. You pretty much know what someone's habits are going to look like if they're in really good shape or if they have great relationships. or what their habits look like if they have, they're very well off, unless like it was just like kind of handed to them. Well, obviously there's always exceptions to the case, but manifesting is really just aligning your desires with your habits, right? So if your goal, you're like, I want to have, 6-pack abs, it's like, okay, well, your habits need to align with that, right? You need to align with that. You need to manifest it because you're only going to get back what you're putting out, right? That's just the law of energy. It's the law of, it's like a science. So how can you manifest your dream body in 2024? What does your dream body look like? Are you looking for more of an aggressive, like I want to be as lean as possible, have like no body fat on me, nothing to grab? Or do you just want to kind of be like, not be able to grab any body fat? Like you just want to kind of be, not having like a handful of belly fat and you want to get a flat stomach, it's a little definition. And so it's like, you kind of need to figure out what habits you would need as it relates to whatever your goal is, right? And that's really all manifesting is figuring out, okay, how can I align with what I want? And so if your goal is fat loss, for example, right? Because I know 99.9% of the people I'm talking to, number one goal is to lose body fat. Probably want to tone up and build muscle, but let's talk about fat loss first, okay? These are the questions you really need to ask yourself because the answers will be your game plan for 2024, okay? So, okay, my goal is fat loss. What should your nutrition look like? And that's going to really depend on how lean you want to get. Do you want to really see really fast results, lose 1 to 3 pounds a week, have like a very, very lean physique, get to, if you're a woman, 15% body fat. If you're a guy, 10% body fat. You probably need to be doing macros and you probably need to get really good at that, right? What should your workout routine look like? Do you need to do cardio? Should you be doing, strength training? How should your HIIT look like? What should it look like? What is someone that's like as lean as you want to be? What does their routine look like? Lifestyle habits, sleep, boundaries with like your family, your friends, coworkers on like saying no, and maybe, telling them like, hey, like I'm not going to like have 18 drinks with you. I'm going to have 2, but like I need to set some boundaries with you because every time we go out, we get fucked up together beyond belief, and it just like negates all my results, and I'm eating shit the next day because I'm so hungover, right? Would you be working with a coach like me or like anyone on my team? Like, would you have a coach, And the last question is really just like, what would you be sacrificing that isn't serving you, right? So whether that's like having those extra drinks, whether it's staying out later, whether that's like, sacrificing extra time that you would be doing something else, that maybe you're in the gym, or maybe you're working out at home, or maybe you're meal prepping. It's like, what are you going to sacrifice that really just isn't serving you anymore? Like there's a lot of things like how much TV you watch, look how much time you spend on social media. There's like 2 easy things that you can cut out, right? How lean you want to get is going to really dictate what the habits you need to be. Now, I always say this to people that your results are going to be a byproduct of your habits compounded over time. So if you want to get to a certain body fat percentage, and you don't want to go too aggressive, say you want to get to 20% body fat, but obviously 15 would be like the leanest in terms of, I'm talking about like a woman here. It would, the same approach would work. But when you get into your metabolic priming phase, which you need to do after you get to your goal, to make sure the weight never comes back, because 95% of people gain the weight back because you can't maintain a low amount of food or eating habits and have the discipline to ride out the rest of your life. So you need to reverse diet. You need to do a metabolic priming and build your metabolism back up so you don't gain the weight, so you can eat more food, you can enjoy more alcohol, you can have a little bit more lax of a nutrition plan from there. Where are you at now too? That's like a big question you want to ask yourself. Where are you at? Are you at a place where like you barely eat anything and you're not losing any weight? Or do you have a pretty good metabolism and you're overeating and have shitty habits? It's like, where are you at? Because you might actually need to start with like a metabolic priming phase to build up your metabolism before you can actually go into that macro method, that fat burning phase. Okay. Another question. I know I said that's all the questions you want to ask, but have you failed on macros in the past, or have you failed on like another nutrition strategy in the past and you need another approach? Like for me, for example, I got super lean on macros, like the leanest like I've ever been. Did a photo shoot, felt great. But the next time I did it, for whatever reason, I just could not get my adherence there. Like I kept, not shitting the bed, but I kept like deviating from my macros and adding in food at the end of the day and all this other stuff. And when I actually worked with another coach who had me just on like a very strict meal plan, it's like, hey, here's the meals you're going to eat. And they were pretty much the same for 2 days. I did really well on that, like really, really well. I since have not done well on that because I needed to branch out. It was too restrictive. And so now I eat the same 8 to 10 meals per day, and my fat loss methods are a little bit more different than they were. I added in 30 minutes of cardio post-workout because I actually like reading, and sometimes I'm watching like Netflix on the bike, and it just kind of makes the time pass. My lifting looks a little bit different. And my nutrition, I eat the same 8-10 meals. I basically just cut out. I usually eat about 5 meals a day. Yeah, 5 meals a day. So now I eat 3 meals, 1 smaller meal, and then I have room for alcohol or cheat food, or so like half pint ice cream at the end of the day. So I just like saved it and kept continually tweaking it until I was seeing about a pound of fat loss for me per week. I'll get into that later date, that I lost like 10 pounds in 6 weeks, and I'll show you how I did it. And it was actually over Thanksgiving, which is even crazier, but I didn't log my food. I didn't track my food. I still ate sweets and drank alcohol the whole time. So I'll kind of break that down, how I did that. But like, it's like, what strategy do you need to do that's going to work for you, be realistic? And there's more than one way to skin a cat. Yeah, macros, they're great. They're very flexible. You can travel, you can live a lifestyle, you can go out to eat. But if that's not working for you, there's a million different other strategies we use with our clients. Like not one size fits all. And what worked with you at one point from an adherence standpoint, just like a mindset standpoint, might not work for you at another point, and also like if your female physiology, if you're female, switched from, you had a regular menstrual cycle and now you're in perimenopause, well, your macros are going to look a lot different, and your food intake's going to look a lot different, right? Same thing if you're a guy who had higher testosterone, now it's really just like in the gutter. You probably need to change it up from where you were. So there's a lot of different factors you want to ask, but like, again, the thing I want to address on is all manifesting is really just aligning your desires with your habits. That's all it is. Yes, it is about thinking of yourself in that space and acting as if, but you want to act as if by getting the habits now that you would need then to get that physique. So anyways, I hope this helps. Please, if you haven't already, I'm begging you, I'm really trying to build up this podcast and YouTube channel in the new year because I want to help more people. There's so many shitting coaching programs out there, and the more ears I can get on here and the more I can help people, even with just like all this is free. This is 100% free. Please share it with a friend, but please give me a like, give me a review, rate it. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Would go very helpful. I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, love you. Happy whatever day you watch this on, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.